Thanks, Maddie. I appreciate it. All right, I think I got everything set up for today. Hello, everyone. My name is Rika Bird, and I felt like today I'm just going to do a nice, simple stream of playing some World of Warcraft. We're going to be going through some of the older raids and try to get some appearances um, for some of the older raids. I'm going to be also learning a little bit about how Paladin plays because I haven't played Paladin in years, and this is the one we leveled up in the Mists of Pandaria remix. They are now free to roam about the world, no longer stuck in the land of Pandaria. So, yeah, as we go through these older raids and stuff like that, I'll kind of tell stories about them, mostly about the lore and such, so you'll get to learn all sorts of new things you might never have known about World of Warcraft and its entire overarching universe. So cool stuff overall. But yeah, this is my Paladin, Colonia. Fairly new Paladin. My original one is still sort of on the wayside. But yeah, I used to play Paladin quite a lot, especially back in the Legion expansion. Paladin was my favorite class back then, and it just felt really good to play. Lots of action, I like the class role play behind it, being, fully on the side of the light and being a warrior with it. Hi, Mama.
Hello.
But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I didn't have a set plan on which one we would go to first, but I figured since Paladins, or as I said, I played Paladins back in Legion, we could start there. So we'll go to some of the Legion raids and go through those one at a time and just start unlocking some armor. Let's see, fastest way to get to the first raid of Legion would be... That's the wrong Dalaran. Where's the right Dalaran? Hasuna will take us there. Alright, let's see. From here, we just fly on through. Yeah, I remember, Mama. And you're welcome. It's never fun losing a family member, and I just want to do what I can to try to help out. Yeah, I'm glad that she liked it. I was really excited when I found it, because connecting with those older games is important. Thank you. This is a Grotto Netherwing Drake. The Netherwing Drakes were the result of the orcs under Illidan's rule, taking a whole bunch of eggs from the black dragonflight and infusing them with the energies from this space called the Nether, and yeah, this was the result. So the first raid we're going to is called the Emerald Nightmare. Oops, that's the wrong place. I'm probably gonna get teleported out. Yep. Oh. So yeah. Excuse me about that. The Emerald Nightmare. So in Azeroth, there is a place known as the Emerald Dream. And what the Emerald Dream is sort of the ideal Azeroth, which is the planet we're on, as just a pure naturistic sort of thing, like the perfect ideal version of it. And give me a sec, I need a drink. The opposite side of that coin is the Emerald Nightmare, which is the corruption of the Emerald Dream made manifest in our world. Corrupted by fell magics and the leader of the Burning Legion, Sargeras. Its whole purpose was to just have another inn for the demons to come and invade the world. So we're gonna set the raid difficulty to normal. I don't think 25 versus 10 is gonna make any difference for raids to slate, but we'll go through this one. Actually, which armor set do I need from the Emerald Nightmare? So these are the sets that we can get. The Nighthold sets are the ones that we would get from this raid. It looks like... Let's see. Looks like Heroic or Mythic. So we'll go ahead and do Mythic difficulty, which won't really be that hard because I'm maximum level and these older raids are fairly easy for a maximum level character. But we'll see if we can get the helmet in particular. It drops from here from a boss known as Cenarius. And anything else we get is just going to be extra gold for my characters to share for basically anything they need. So these raids, for those of you who have never played World of Warcraft before, these raids are typically designed for 20 people for Mythic difficulty, and that is the hardest difficulty you can play on for raids. And there's specific roles and such that each person takes to help optimize the team's performance. When it comes to Mythic difficulty, there are very specific strategies and such that come to fighting these bosses. But as a max level character, you can go back to the older raids, and they're fairly trivial.
You seek the dream. I dream the dream. Now,
as you can see.
Alas,
Amanda
poor
_ Nina
Nythemia.
is now a bird watcher.
She served faithfully as guardian of the dream. Only
Now,
to
it
be
held a
perverted
message
into a
because you tried to
gatekeeper of
share me your
corruption.
Discord, but I'm not entirely sure if you're real or not, so I'm just gonna deny the message. I don't want people adding you. Please don't post your Discords in chat. Hello, Opal. Things are going well enough. Let's see, we did get a leather belt because they recently updated the game to where you can collect appearances of other classes in the game. So, typical tactic that you want to try to do while running Mythic raids in the older raids and such is to gather up as many of these mobs as possible. Every single one of these enemies is going to give me a chance to get additional loot, maybe things I can sell. And I got rooted, which is never fun. But that's okay. We're not in any danger getting swarmed by enemies. in this raid, so don't worry about whether or not I'm gonna die or anything by doing this. I've been doing these older ones for quite a while. It's one of my favorite things to do, and WoW actually is to go back and experience some of the raids I never was able to when they were current content. Thank you, and Opal, I want to thank you personally for the contribution you made the other day. It helped a lot, and I'm going to make sure all those funds get to the right place. So the next World of Warcraft expansion that's coming out is called The War Within, hence the title of the stream. And every class is getting new hero talents, which I can show you will be right here once they are unlocked. And apparently Retribution Paladins, which is the subset of the class I am, get a lot of hammers. And that's going to be fun. Everyone loves to get a hammer of justice.
I have faced the nightmare before, but never
I
has
appreciate
had
it,
so
Nopal.
thorough a stranglehold on the dream. It hungers, desperate to seed its corruption. Do not let its whispers seduce you into madness.
So that voice that you just heard, that is Malfurion Stormrage, a powerful druid of the
Sense
world
the touch
whose
of
job it is
Cenarius
to
upon
look
this iris.
over the Emerald
There's a
Dream.
portal that leads to Moonblade, but the way has been sealed by dark magic. We must sever the tendrils of power that bind it. From each of these pathways, a palpable evil emanates. Choose a course, and know that I will stand with you.
So Malfurion Stormrage, he is a very prominent character from all the way back in Warcraft 3. Yeah, he is the student of Cenarius, who he was talking to, and Cenarius is a demigod in this world who helps look over nature. And, you know, Cenarius was the one who created the druids and trained them in the ways of nature. And in this particular expansion, he fell to the corruption of the Emerald Nightmare when he was exploring the Emerald Dream and ran into the corruption. He unsuccessfully tried to stop it on his own, because if I'm going to be completely honest, Cenarius is a bit arrogant, thinks he can do it all, and thinks he's always right. And yeah, but it's sad because the boss that we're coming up on, his name is Ursoc, and Ursoc has been a character that goes all the way back to Classic World of Warcraft. And in Classic World of Warcraft, he was the Guardian Druid trainer, if I recall correctly. But in this expansion, he also was corrupted by the Nightmare. And when you slay a demigod like Ursoc,
consumes me, compels me to serve, to kill.
so when you kill a
If you
demigod
need
like
further
Ursoc,
proof of how
he
insidious
goes
the
to
nightmare is,
the
look
afterlife
then.
in
Even
a
the
sort of
fierce heart of
stasis,
Ursoc has
and
succumbed. Release him, I
waits
beg you.
waits until they can be reincarnated as themselves again back on Azeroth. However, this poor fellow here, he he fell victim to the Shadowlands expansion, and off screen, his essence was taken and used to power the afterlife, where demigods such as this go. So he is now a permanently gone character, which a lot of druids were not happy about, especially after the burning of Teldrassil. So yeah, not a good time for druids.
Should have fled. Now our nightmare's veil is lifted. I return at last to the long slumber.
Let's see, we got leather leggings.
Truly, there was never a soul
Oh.
more noble than Ursoc's. I pray his spirit finds its way back to the dream.
That's a good set. I didn't know I was missing the boots to that set. Looks like I just need the pants to this set, which is awesome because this is another set I really like. In fact, Miss Nugget has a costume based on this set, and it looks pretty good. I think I did a pretty good drawing it for her. All right, let's head on to the next boss. This mount that I'm using is a this was called again, the High Lord's Golden Charger, and the quest you had to do as a paladin to get this was really fun. And it flies, and you can see its little hook prints are little golden beacons of light. They're really cool. I only got the class mounts for 2 classes in Legion. That would be Hunter and Paladin, and the Hunter one is really cool as well. They get a neat wolf hawk, which I can show you really quick. Oh, I also got the arcane disc, so I guess 3. Let me show you the wolf hawk though. Yeah, these guys are really cool. And the way the Hunter summons these in is that they just shout for it, and it comes to them. 3 colors. The High Lord's Charger comes in 4 colors, which I always appreciated for sure because paladins have various armor sets. Yes, hello Minotaur Magi. We're in a place called the Emerald Nightmare, which is the corrupted version of the Emerald Dream, which is basically Azeroth's waking dream.
Emerald Dreamway. During my long slumber, it was here I communed with the green dragonfly. Now, this sacred place has been made into a conduit for the nightmare to spread its corruption. This we cannot allow.
So, these characters, these dragons here, these were guardians of the Emerald Dream dragons from the Green Dragonflight. And Ysandra, this one back here in the back, she had struggled in the past with fighting off the Emerald Nightmare within her own mind. And in Classic WoW, we helped cleanse her. And even, I think, in Cataclysm, we helped cleanse her again. But eventually, she did succumb to the madness of the Nightmare, and she became a raid boss here. Legion was a very hard expansion for a lot of characters in World of Warcraft. A lot of them ended up just dying, and
the strands of life have been severed. At last, the long dream comes.
It was a very
How
hard
cruel
time for
fate
druids.
is. Cleansed of the nightmare once before, only to become its victim yet again. Some wounds never truly heal. May you find peace at last, old friend.
Yeah, the Green Dragonflight is the one that druids usually identify with. It was my favorite, still is my favorite Dragonflight, because, you know, I'm a big nature nut myself. I love forests, I love animals. Let me see if I can't find... exactly what I'm looking for. I don't know what letter it starts with, otherwise this would be a lot easier. Oh, there we go. So Ysera, this is her human form, but she is a green dragon, leader of the Green Dragonflight before
Time may pass,
her
but the
unfortunate
dream is
demise
eternal.
in Legion. Let me see if I can't find the other one. Oh, I can't do this one in a raid instance. Okay, I'll put that on the wayside and I'll remember to do that later on. But yeah, my interest in Ysera and the Green Dragon flight started all the way back in the Wrath of the Lich King expansion, for you could go out to a place called Dragonblight where Wormrest Tower is, and you can help the various aspects of the Dragonflight take care of their shrines of power. And one of the ones you could go to was Ysera's. And this was before she was like an active character in World of Warcraft, because Ysera's whole thing was to communicate with the dream by sleeping. And that's where she was. She was just laying in her shrine sleeping. And for me, it was just nice to just go down there and hang out with her, not really do much else, do the quests around there. Dragonblight was one of my favorite questing zones in Wrath of the Lich King, and I always enjoyed going there.
Liars! Murderers! Has Hamuz sent his lapdogs to fetch his knife from my back? Do you remember murdering me? Or have you grown so used to slaughter that my cries of agony are long forgotten? I recall my final moments, surrounded by those I had trusted. Your satisfied sneers as I drew my last breath.
Actually, don't recognize this character. Maybe the adventure guide will give us some insight. Elithri was once a mighty druid and an adept shapeshifter. She was led down a dark path by the belief that she was betrayed by her closest allies. Her consciousness now resides in the nightmare, damning her to an existence of fear, confusion, and hatred. That's fairly sad, but that was the whole, like, point of World of Warcraft Legion, was the corruption of everything costing the lives of so many of the people and characters that we had come to love throughout the series. And the Legion at the time was the penultimate confrontation, because the Burning Legion has been around since Warcraft 1, I believe, and it's the whole reason why Azeroth was ever intertwined with the war with the demons in the first place. It brought the orcs to Azeroth to be called a new home. It brought the Draenei here as well, which is what my character is. They are Draenei. So yeah, it was a big deal to finally to confront them.
The illusion of corruption falls away. Behold, a druid who was as a sister to me.
Hi, Silvertooth.
I feel her loss keenly, heroes. The Twilight's hammer ambushed and murdered Eleretha, misleading her into believing Hamul Rune Totem played a part in her death. It seems her spirit was so twisted that she sought to take vengeance upon all of Thunderbluff. You had a deep love for the lands of Alterac, old friend. I vow to tend the veil in your name.
I know the feeling, Silver. I had a rough night last night. I did not sleep until about 6 in the morning. There's just a feeling you get when you lose so much, and it's just this really tight feeling in your chest that you just can't shake, no matter how much you try to relax. But
a tumor of nightmare,
just gotta keep
a world
functioning
here in the reflection of the Titan's own playground. If this seed takes hold, the roots of its infestation will wind their way into the heart of Azeroth. The nightmare would devour our world, claiming everything, everyone. this must not come to pass!
But the boss I'm about to confront is called Il'gynoth, and Il'gynoth was one of the most interesting characters in World of Warcraft for the longest time. So Il'gynoth is believed to be a pure representation of the Void. So basically, almost an old god in his own right, and his whispers actually had meaning to the game in that he was giving context clues and hints as to the future that is about to befall those in World of Warcraft. The way you had to fight him is you had to bring these oozes up to the boss, and you had to kill them, and they explode, dealing damage to the eye. And once the eye falls, you go inside and you fight the heart of Il'gynoth. And we've talked pretty extensively about the old gods on stream before, where I think it was Yogg-Saron that we had talked about in Y'Shaarj, and especially Y'Shaarj, because Y'Shaarj was the one that we were talking about in Mists of Pandaria, because it was the heart of Y'Shaarj, the fallen old god, that caused the corruption there.
Struck at our heart will be repaid 1,000-fold. Still you fight. Still you refuse, Zoth. I journey to Ny'alotha.
Yeah, that last line,
Behold,
N'Zoth,
the iris
I
opens.
journey to
Way Cenarius is
Ny'alotha.
clear.
Moonglade is the most sacred
Ny'alotha
place in all the dream.
was a place that had
my
been
Shandong could play any part
mentioned
in
a
its
couple times,
corruption.
like in books in the game and stuff.
See with my
But
own
Ny'alotha
eyes what
was
horrors
the
have befallen my beloved
was
teacher.
the Black
Steel your
Empire's
hearts against
city,
the darkness, heroes.
their bastion, which we can go to Ny'alotha because it's one of the raids that is available to us. But at the time, everyone was excited at the prospect of this big old god city that we would get to see at some point, and fight the old god N'Zoth there. N'Zoth had a huge part to play in the expansion called Battle for Azeroth, even though it was a very unpopular expansion. It had some interesting ideas on where it wanted to take the story, and I just don't think that they wove it together quite properly.
Cenarius, it breaks my heart to see my Shandong twisted and torn this way. If we can subdue him, I will do everything in my power to purge the vile touch of Xavius from his spirit.
Malfurion! No! It cannot be! I prayed my Theroshan would never fall to the nightmare. Yet here you stand, casting a shadow upon the purity of the dream!
Can it be? My old master is blind to the lies of Xavius and thinks we are the source of the infestation. You have been deceived, my teacher. Xavius has twisted your perceptions. I beg of you, let me cleanse you of this evil.
Liars! Servant of darkness! It will give me no pleasure to destroy you, but my duty is to the dream. Under Farador!
But yeah, that's what the nightmare does to you. It whispers into your ear and makes you believe things that aren't true. So we're not going to kill Cenarius. This is one of the few bosses where we just knock them unconscious, and Malfurion will work from there.
I have failed you.
Yes, Cenarius. We are here to save you. It is done. Cenarius is beaten, but my great teacher lives. Now, I must focus all of my strength to cleanse him. Xavius waits ahead in the Rift of Aul, the true heart of the nightmare. Would that I could fight at your side, heroes, but to this place I cannot go.
This
My
was
bond
one of the
with
coolest
Emerald Dream
druid sets.
gives me great power, but it also makes me vulnerable to the Rift's darkness. I have peered inside it and know this to be true. Should I step within, I would be lost, just as Cenarius was. Go, destroy the Nightmare Lord. Only this way can the dream be restored, and Azeroth be saved. May Elune grant us strength. We must put an end to the nightmare. Say the word, and I will take us into the heart of that twisted place.
So the Rift of Aln is like this place that lies between the fabric of the Nightmare and the Emerald Dream, right? And the one that we are about to fight inside, Xavius, is actually an old rival of Malfurion's. And in their last confrontation, Malfurion actually did not kill him, but he turned him into a tree. Malfurion turned Xavius into a tree as a sort of, punishment. And I don't think he ever got over it, because here he is again attacking Malfurion personally. I have to say, for Paladins, especially Draenei, this armor set is like one of the best armor sets they have ever released for them. I don't have the complete set, I'm missing the belt clasp, but it's a really cool armor set. But it's like traditional Draenei Vindicator armor. And it's the next set we're probably going to be going after we're done with Legion stuff, because Legion stuff, we got a couple of my favorite sets that we need to finish up. We got this one, and we got this set that I would like to finish up. This one comes in many different colors, but I personally like the Mythic color set the best. Yeah, don't worry. They can hit me all they want. They'd never even scratch me. Like I said, these are really old raids. If I'm to put this into perspective, let's see. Legion was 1, 2, 3, 4 expansions ago at this point. So any enemy that we'd face here, just nothing, just cakewalk.
The nightmare has corrupted.
Embrace them.
Nightmares are never forgotten. No! I will not permit it!
So we did not get... Oh, that's pretty cool. That's part of the set. We did not get the helmet we were after, unfortunately. But we can still head to the Nighthold, which will be the next place we go. But our chance to get it here was from Cenarius, and we did not get it. But it says it drops in the Nighthold, but it doesn't say which boss it drops from. So I guess we're just gonna have to kill all of them. The Nighthold is a very neat... What do you mean I can't do that right now? I can use that one, but I can't use the other one.
Heroes, champions, step forth and hear me. The Nightmare has long been a cancer eager to consume the Emerald Dream. Had Xavier succeeded, his corruption would have overwhelmed Azeroth, giving rise to a living nightmare. Your triumph restores the dream and safeguards your world. The allies of Xavius will never relent. But this road, at least, is closed to them. To honor your courage, I offer passage into the pure heart of the dream. As you feel the essence of life blooming beneath your feet, know that it endures thanks to what you achieve this day.
So that's where we're at right now. He's basically explaining you're not anywhere on Azeroth. You're in the Emerald Dream, which is Azeroth's dream. I'm just the rough couple days. I lost my great aunt, and we were trying to raise funds. And, this coming after other deaths earlier on in the year, and it's just a hard time. So yeah, let's see. I was hoping that I could get a way out of here without having to hearth out.
Goddess,
Oh yeah, one of the most interesting parts about I need my water mount. One of the most interesting things that people had found in the raid after they had beaten it was there is this branch back here, and this actually has to do with the next expansion, because this is like where the mystery stuff actually started to begin. But back here is a remnant of the void, and that later on became something that we had to fight back recently. But if you bring the back then, we had legendary weapons that were called artifact weapons, and you had to level them up. And one of those artifact weapons was the essence of an old god named Xalatath, bound to a dagger. It was the Shadow Priest's artifact weapon, and if you brought Xalatath here, she would talk about this void flower. I forget exactly what she would say, but she would comment on it like a seed of void waiting to blossom into something greater. All right. So we're gonna head back to Stormwind. Then we'll head back to the Legion content, and we'll head to the Nighthold. The Nighthold is the raid. And why is it not working? What was I saying? The Nighthold, right. So there's this ancient city called Suramar that is out on the Broken Isle, where we are heading to right now. And Suramar was a great elf city that the Nightborn inhabit. And when the Burning Legion invaded, Illisond made a pact with the Burning Legion to, let them use their city as sort of a base of operations. And in return, the city would be safe, but it was anything but safe. It was, ran by demons, so a lot of people ended up suffering and dying because of Illisond's actions, but she still convinced herself she was right because she has the power to see the future, or so she believes. Her understanding of how time in this universe works was rudimentary at best, and it's because of that understanding she decided to turn over her city. But the Nighthold raid is our chance, our opportunity to take the city back and defeat Illisond and the Orcish warlock named Gul'dan before he can take Illidan Stormage's body and put the soul of Sargeras into it, thus giving Sargeras another avatar in which to terrorize the world with. Because at this point, Sargeras' whole thing is to destroy all life on Azeroth, and purge the world of life and destroy the world soul within before it can become corrupted by the void, even though he has no real evidence that is going to happen. I remember running this back when it was current content. I really liked the Nighthold raid, it was fun. It would be, I honestly don't know what you would put that as. If you're doing it as a friend, then just as a friend, I would say. All right, let's see. Let me double check that Mythic is what I want. Yes. It's like, why isn't it opening? This wasn't working. But there we go. So, we're approaching this from the arcane depths. Basically, the sewers is where we're going to make our initial strike into the city. Does Khadgar have anything to say about that?
To be done.
No.
How can I help?
And that's just a quest to like skip most of the raid, but since I do all the raid anyway, it's just pointless quest to grab. So these creatures are actually Nightborn elves that have succumbed to their addiction of the Moonwell's magic, and since they were not sustained by it, they turned into these withered beings desperate for magical energies to the point of becoming feral. And they actually share an ancestry with the Blood Elves, who are also addicted to magic in a very similar way. Where the Nightborn get their magical addiction from the Nightwell, the Blood Elves get their magic from the Sunwell. So they had very different paths that they took.
This is a momentous day, my friends. Until the
Some cloth
Legion
gloves?
came, no outsider was permitted inside the corridors of the Nighthold for 10,000 years.
Yeah, it's quite a long time. Thank goodness you needed our help to retake the city, yeah? So this part of the raid likes to break sometimes if I'm not careful, so I gotta take this part a little bit slow. Kill enemies one at a time so the NPCs figure out what they're supposed to be doing, because the NPCs open up the door ahead.
Now the fate of my people rests in the hands of outsiders. All of you, to save us from the terrible bargain made by our queen.
So, first Arcanist Thalysra, she was on the verge of becoming withered, along with some of her rebel friends, because that's what happened when you rebelled against Elisan. You weren't just executed, you were banished from the city to lose your mind slowly. Oh, excuse me. And eventually turn into a withered.
Shannara Dalaran.
And this happened to thousands of
how such an entity
Nightborn.
came to be. But the essence of the Nightwell is surging through it. Tendrils of power are emanating from the aberration.
I believe Elisande is using this creature
Why defy that which
in order to free our allies at the gate.
the wheels of time turn against you? My time has come.
Oh, this is the Monk's Mythic set. Looks
The
pretty
time
cool.
lock is broken. They are free.
No doubt our forces will be
So,
disoriented. I will inform them what happened and see that they make ready to resume our assault.
From here, we have
What
access
this is,
to the
this is
palace
the
grounds. We can open
pure
the gates
essence
from
of the Moonwell.
inside.
and it powers
An
the
excellent
entire
plan.
spire that we're going to
Good
be
luck,
going up.
heroes.
It's pretty cool. It's a neat looking font of magic. Alright. So this next boss we're going to be fighting is a broken construct that was basically supposed to be a butler. This is Trilliax, one of the bosses we need to fight to get our set. I believe we need the boots from him. Yeah, so here's hoping we get the boots.
You're tracking mud everywhere!
The palace grounds are just ahead. You'll
Oh,
find them
we got the
even
boots.
more heavily
Very
defended
awesome.
than the lower levels.
So now we just need the helmet from somewhere. Somewhere here in the Nighthold, we'll drop this helmet. One of the bosses. Oops, I did not mean to press that twice. Whew. Alright, so now we're out of the sewers, we're heading up to the city itself. So from here, we're taking the fighting onto the streets of Suramar. We got civilians here who are just everyday people who are just trying to live under the rule of the Legion. But also we have the city guards to start taking care of. What I liked about Legion, the expansion we're in, is that there's a lot of story to like almost every element of the expansion. It was a very lore-heavy expansion that not only gave us insight of, actually, while we're doing this, I'll use the artifact weapon that the paladins got. So this is the Hammer of the Naru, and the Naru are the beings of light that the Draenei worship, which is appropriate. There is also this sword called the Ashbringer, which paladins use, and the original Ashbringer looked like this. This is the true form of the Ashbringer, and that stone you see, the one with the emblem of the silver hand, it was forged from a stone that I believe, I want to say Tyrillian found, but I might be wrong on that. We'll have to go to the past to see, but basically this powerful paladin found this void crystal, and they found when they touched it, it withered their hand away and made it useless. But when brought before the paladins of the Silver Hand, they found that if they infused their light magic into this void gem, that it would turn from darkness to light. And when that gem turned to the light gem that it was, the same paladin with the withered hand reached out with his withered hand and touched it, and his hand was healed. And so they took that gem and they took it to, I want to say Magni Bronzebeard, one of the dwarves who led Ironforge, and they asked if Magni would forge it into a weapon. And so the Ashbringer, the sword, was born, and it was called the Ashbringer because as it cut through demons and the undead, it was reducing them literally to ash and waves of light. So yeah, pretty cool weapon. It was one of my favorites. We're gonna go with the purple version because I believe it, matches the armor set better.
May your feet find good trails.
But yeah, we got a boss right here. He's just one of the guards, nothing special.
Entire armies have fallen by my sword. What chance could you possibly have against me?
I don't remember her being a very difficult boss.
Mistress, I have failed.
I remember the hardest part about her was mostly dealing with her zipping around the battlefield and having to move around
to liberate Suramar
to
is joined.
get
No
her.
more must our resistance hide in the shadows.
The gates are breached. Sorry we couldn't join you sooner, but we had a bit of a mess to clean up out front. I'll see to fortifying our position here. Thalisra, your guidance has been invaluable to our champions so far. They'll rely upon your wisdom in the battles ahead.
The people of Suramar owe these heroes a debt we can never fully repay. I will stand with them until the end.
I'll keep an eye on your progress. Good luck.
So the next boss we are going to fight is called, I think this is Tichondrius. But this demon, he is a Dreadlord, and Dreadlord's specialty is infiltration. They set up the first invasion of Azeroth and even the second.
If it were up to me. But I suppose we will reward our allies soon enough. Until then, I'll amuse myself by cleaning up their mess.
So yeah, Tichondrius has been a demon that has caused a lot of terrible things to happen on Azeroth.
Impossible? You are Inferior!
And now we have slain him. No new armor
In the Third
pieces
War,
from him.
Tichondrius fell in battle against Illidan's Stormrage. I think the demon hunter's spirit is pleased that the Dreadlord has met another painful end.
So you may be asking yourself, if this guy died in the Third War, why is he back? Well, demons, when they die, their soul is sent to a place called the Twisting Nether, which I had mentioned earlier when talking about the Netherwing Drakes. But it is there in the Twisting Nether that their bodies are reconstituted and made whole again so that they can be sent out for invasion. And that's why the Burning Legion was such a threat, is because no matter how many demons you killed, they just came back. And it's a process that generally took a while, but yeah. Oh yeah, this is a very colorful game. Lots of color. This place in particular, their whole theme is magic, and the time of day that this raid takes place is like at sunset, so like just adds even more beauty to it. I do have to say that I like the new ability as a paladin to throw more than just 2 hammers out. It just sends out a wave of them. Seems like up to 5 hammers now, which is really fun. The move in question is called Judgment. So we're coming up on the Arcane Observatory and well, the Astromancer's Rise, but this is the guy who looked out into the cosmos and saw not just the Burning Legion, but a whole bunch of other planets that had fallen to the void as well. So you went a little bit crazy.
Knew what lay beyond.
Just because he's like, hey, there's all this bad stuff out here, and you just don't know.
Very well.
And he's cool because what he'll do is he'll open up the observatory.
The cruel frozen void that lies beyond the margin of Azeroth's skies.
And he tries to, well, not only does he like imbue himself with the powers of these places, but he also shows us these really cool scenes.
Slayers of whole worlds. Could we hope to resist? Can you?
So these are planets that have fallen to the Burning Legion. The green is known as Fell Magic, and it, well, there's not a lot of planets here in this one, but this is what happens to planets that the Legion invade. They destroy it using that Fell Magic.
Is that not enough? Must I show you the true horror of our reality? Very well. Witness what I have seen and tremble. The stars have judged. Avatars of non-existence.
This is what the Void does. The Void sends out these old gods that want to just, yeah, exactly. They go to planets and they consume them. The old gods grow and grow and grow until there's these massive tentacled beings that just encompass the whole planet. Pretty cool boss fight overall. Lavos from Chrono Trigger. I've never played Chrono Trigger, so I don't know what that is, but I talk too much, and now this guy's gonna take time for me to kill because of the debuff I get. Let's see. Or does he have a buff that reduced damage by 99%? Is that something I could steal? I don't think so. I don't know how to overcome that either. Oh, raw damage it is. Let's go ahead and
stars have judged you and found you wanting.
It's interesting that the Paladin's move rotation is not what I'm used to. There's a lot more buttons to keep track of.
Do not think the future will be so easy.
So ever since Legion, the developer team, the writing team, has sort of tried to one-up themselves in this whole galactic conquest, and it kind of led them down a path of ruin. It's like, okay, so future is the old god, the future is you know, the void now, and then they got to the point where once the void was taken care of and the last old god slain on Azeroth, they were like, okay, well, now you go to the realms of death, and all the mystery behind death and Azeroth and what happens after, everything is just gone. There's no mysticism anymore. There's no wondering why things are the way that they are. It's just all laid bare, which kind of makes a lot of things feel meaningless in the game, and that's one of the reasons why Shadowlands was such a hated expansion, is because there's a whole bunch of retconned lore and a whole bunch of things that came to light that were like this one entity's master plan all along, and yada yada, and nobody liked that at all because they'd never even heard of this guy before. All the previous villains in World of Warcraft were characters that were well established, had a story, had a motivation. But this guy comes out of nowhere, and
nature's grand cycle.
Yeah, not fun time. So these three guys, I should say, are all the same guy, and he turned himself into a plant, and then had a split personality where each aspect of him had a way of taking care of the gardens here.
It seems I have a bit of pruning to do.
So the palace gardener turned himself into a plant?
What can I say? He took his job seriously.
He certainly did. It was one of those oddball bosses that was more of like a gear check than anything, and you're just like, really? He's a plant dude because he's a gardener and that's it? That's his whole thing? It was still funny, silly boss. Alright, so now that we've defeated the bosses on the side wings of the palace, the main palace opens up, and we go and fight the demon that killed one of the High Lord Paladins, whose name is slipping me right now, but he was the previous wielder of the Tyrion Fordring, that's right. Tyrion Fordring was the last owner of the Ashbringer before falling to a demon. And in the Paladin questline, is actually our job to go and get the Ashbringer back. Because the Ashbringer is susceptible to corruption. Because while it is a sword of light, you know, that void gem that was turned to the light using light magic, it can also absorb other kinds of magics as well. And even at one point, it absorbed death magic and became an unholy sword of death and destruction. But it was never nearly as powerful as it was when wielded by the light. Yeah, so I mean, this is an old raid, so it's just for casual fun, for players who want to go back and get the appearances. Right now, our goal is to get the helmet to this piece. I don't know what boss we can get it from because for some reason it doesn't say, but we're in the right raid. And all this stuff that we got here, Oh, look at that. I don't have that. All the stuff that we got here is extra gold for me to get from selling it all. So, yeah. I used to play this game because this game is based on a subscription model. It requires $15 a month to play, but they also give you the option to get these things called, here I'll show you, called WoW tokens. And WoW tokens allow you to buy more game time, and you could spend a certain amount of gold to get another month. And these used to be reasonably priced. They're based on supply and demand sort of thing. And they used to be around 160,000 at the beginning of Dragonflight, which was something I could do every month. Just get one or two of these to continue playing. But now they're extremely expensive because there's a lot more people playing, a lot more people buying them. And the problem with having this whole fake supply and demand system is that top guilds are having their members funnel in currency, gold in this case, to buy these tokens so that everyone on their raid team can have several months of WoW stocked up to pay for future expansions, because this isn't just 30 days of game time. It's also it could be used to give you $15 in credit, in in-store credit through the Blizzard store. So they will use these to buy their guild members expansions, memberships, anything that they want. And so you got a bunch of people buying these. And I'm sure the average player does buy them too if they are able to manage it. But it's mostly people who farm a bunch of gold and keep the prices high on these. But yeah, it used to be a very good system to allow the average player to just continue playing. Not so much anymore. So yeah, Croesus, he was the one who killed Tyrion Fordring.
That was for Tyrion Fordring, monster. Croesus may not have struck the killing blow, but he played a part in our great champion's fall.
He did indeed, and Tyrion Fordring was the one who helped take down the Lich King, Arthas. So he was another well-established character in the series before he unfortunately fell at the beginning of this expansion. Legion was the expansion where we were kind of expecting to lose some characters, but we lost a lot more than we thought we would. Ooh. Goodness, my allergies are bad today. Alright, so now we go to confront Elisande, who is the leader of the Nightborn here currently. Well, until we kill her. This big line of magic you see going up and down, that is direct magic coming from the Moonwell. And at the top of this is Elisande herself, just drinking it all in. And she genuinely thinks she's working in the best interest of her people, which is sad, because the best kinds of villains are the ones that think themselves the hero. So Elisande's whole thing is time magic. She has great control over how time works. And there she is. Siphoning magic directly from the Moonwell. She had a really cool and unique fight too.
Of course. The threads of fate that led you to this place. Your desperate attempt to stop the Legion. My people faced a similar dilemma. I peered into all possible futures in search of an answer, and found only one. The Legion's victory is inevitable. Every time stream shows it to be so. Had we resisted, they would have taken the Nightwell by force and left us bereft of it. I could not allow my people to starve, to waste away without its energy sustaining us. So a bargain was struck. Now I see a future where the Legion is victorious and my people endure. This is the thread that must be preserved. I will do everything in my power to make it so. Your deaths ensure the future of the Nightborn. Come forward, then. Let us speed you towards your fate.
Yep. So she, as I said, she truly believes this is the only way forward because her basic understanding of how time works in this universe led her to believe that she could see every possible outcome of the future. And this was the only way to save her people. She's about to get a harsh lesson.
Here.
So every time you defeat her,
Exist in but a single moment. I am far less limited.
she rewinds time. And then she analyzes the fight and goes at it again.
Time shifts again, and your doom draws near.
But there's only so many times that she can do this before the power becomes too much.
Time is... it's... not possible. I was destined to win.
She doesn't understand that what she saw was a lie, perpetuated by the Burning Legion itself.
In all the possible futures I scried, I did not foresee one in which you were victorious. I wonder, will you defeat the Legion? Will you fail? Time eddies about you in fits and starts. Nothing is certain. Perhaps you will win. And in saving your world, my people would be freed from the terrible bargain we were forced to make. Fates be damned. I cast my lot in with yours, champions. Go now. Face Gul'dan. I will aid you as best I can. And perhaps together, we can save us all.
Yeah, her time powers are basically hijacked through manipulation. And yeah, there's this artifact that she has control of known as the Eye of Aman'Thul. And Aman'Thul is the titan of magic and time. And it is at the top. And Gul'dan is using it right now to try to infuse Illidan Stormrage's body, which you can see up here, with the essence of Sargeras. Gul'dan is a warlock, cast out of time from an alternate timeline where he did not, betray his people and the Burning Legion, only to die later on. No, this Gul'dan here, he's from an alternate timeline where he succeeds and he is cast back to our timeline to try again.
I am unstoppable. My will is unbreakable. No more distractions. I have work to do.
So this is what he's doing. He's opening up this rift, and this rift
Surrender.
will bring in Sargeras.
Oh! Show mercy.
Time to return the demon.
I am Gul'dan. I am darkness incarnate. It cannot end like this.
So instead of infusing Sargeras and he infuses himself into Illidan's body.
Master? Such arrogance! Behold the shadow of what is to come. The endless darkness that shall consume your world. You are not prepared!
Not quite a time rift, but a rift across space to Sargeras.
Power of the demon within! He will yet claim this titan.
Oh, it didn't do the cutscene. So, what happens is Illidan comes back. Illidan Stormrage. He comes back and he grips Gul'dan by the neck and he obliterates him. It's a really cool cutscene. I wish we would have shown it, but I suppose that's okay. But yeah, he absolutely obliterates Gul'dan, and then he prepares for the next assault, which is over here. This fallen night elf temple in the distant horizon is called the Tomb of Sargeras, where the original avatar of Sargeras lies hidden underneath. And that's our next destination too. So let's go ahead and we'll head back to Stormwind, and then we'll head to Azuna again, and we will go to the Tomb of Sargeras. Now, the Tomb of Sargeras, this is not the first time it has been mentioned. It was first mentioned in Warcraft 3, and we even got to go there. Illidan Stormrage was trying to retrieve the skull of Gul'dan, which, since the Warlock was very powerful in our timeline, his skull was infused with many powers. And Illidan was after those powers to try to beat the Burning Legion back. Even though he had some questionable methods of doing that. In sealing away the Tomb of Sargeras, he also sealed away a bunch of what are known as Night Wardens. They are night elves that hunt beings like Illidan. Demons. And then they imprison them, because the only real way to stop a demon is by imprisoning it. As I said, if you kill the demon, they come back. Alright, let's head on over. So up there, that is the floating city of Dalaran. That is where we're going to stop by first. I'm going to try to get the Dalaran Hearthstone working, and I believe the way you do that is you head to Dalaran and you grab one from the person that distributes them.
Thank the light I found you. I must speak with you at once.
No, it's okay.
Greetings. Light bless you.
Maybe I have to go to an end. So this is Lord Maxwell Tyrosus, and he's actually a really cool paladin. He gives you the quest that allows you to pick the artifact weapon that you will pursue as a paladin, and there are 3 of them, one for each class.
See you later.
Let's see. I should probably sell while I'm here.
My sincere apologies for the insistence, but we must speak immediately.
Yes. We won't be doing that, but I understand where you're coming from. Going through some of these older
Your counsel is
raids
paramount
gives
to our
me
next
quite
move
a
against
bit
the
of
Legion.
gold, which is important. just so that I can do my profession work in the next expansion when it comes out. Oh, I'll keep that. Maybe I'll come back and do some Legion blacksmithing and make that.
Here when you are ready.
You're bad at making the right amount of pasta. Everyone is. It's so hard, but there are products out there that help you measure like how many people you want to feed with your noodles. I made 1,000 gold from those 2 raids, which isn't a whole lot, but every little bit counts. Let's see.
Safe travels.
I was hoping that it would be a simple task to get another Hearthstone. Oh, it's working now. Okay. Alright, let's head to the Tomb of Sargeras. So, when this expansion came out, everyone thought that the Tomb of Sargeras was going to be the end game for Legion, but it turns out that the Warcraft team had one extra trick up its sleeve, and we'll discuss that one after this Tomb of Sargeras. But just know the Broken Shore, everywhere we went here to try to stop the Legion, this was it. We thought this was it. Storm the Tomb of Sargeras, stop the Legion. But it got really intense, really fast. Let's see, which set am I going for here? I don't have a lot of the Mythic set. And it is a cool set, but I really want to try to get the last parts of the heroic set, because green is my favorite color, and this is the perfect shade of green. So I'm gonna switch the difficulty to heroic, and we're gonna go on in. The Tomb of Sargeras was an old high elf temple to worship the moon goddess Elune, and it was corrupted by demons in the Burning Legion. Many lives have been claimed by this tomb over the years, and now the Legion is here to try to resurrect the avatar of Sargeras. And if they unleash the avatar of Sargeras, there's not a lot in this world that can stop it.
Here, Azeroth burns.
Yes, let them come. Their bodies will fuel the flames of their burning world.
Fall back!
So this is our first boss. And he is very cool looking. Goroth the Blighted. Let's see what Lord King Lingrim. As punishment for past failures, Goroth's flesh is marred with searing wounds. With every movement this behemoth makes, his flesh crackles and hisses with unending torment. A scourge he is happy to inflict upon those who oppose him. So that's basically what happens to demons who fail Sargeras, is he takes them, he tortures them, and he sends them back with more power and more suffering.
I will delight in your suffering. For agony to come.
Let's see, we've got leather and a mail piece set. Oh yes, oh, I forgot how disappointing the hunter set was from here. I never pursued it because it's basically a copy of the old hunter set that doesn't really have a good version.
Egwin appears, just
oh yeah,
as she
Egwin.
did in the cathedral.
I sealed each level of this temple so that no invader could descend into its depths. I never anticipated that the Legion would find another way to breach its dark heart. My protective wards now bar your way. Each seal can only be opened with one of the pillars of creation. Be warned, the demons will stop at nothing to prevent your advance.
So,
I can sense one of the Legion's masters working to reanimate the avatar of Sargeras. Should Kill Jaden infuse that husk with the Dark Titan's power, I do not know whether any force on this world can stop it.
So Egwin is the very first Guardian.
The paths are open. Use
the Guardian was
to bypass
a powerful mage,
before the Legion
a very powerful mage. What happened was that the Mages Council from way back then, when she was alive, needed someone super powerful. They elected to give their powers, all their arcane abilities, to one individual who was supposed to surrender it back when, the Legion was defeated. However, Egwin was a very arrogant person, and she kept the powers for herself, saying that these powers are going to be needed again at some point, and giving them back would be a waste. And so she kept them, and she defeated the Avatar of Sargeras, and upon the Avatar's defeat, Sargeras cast a bit of his own essence into her body without her realizing it. And when she had her son was not only given the powers of the Guardian, but also the fell essence of Sargeras himself. And that Guardian's name was Medivh, and he plays a very prominent role in Warcraft history. He actually gets his head cut off by one of his best friends because they realize that he is being possessed by Sargeras, and they didn't really have any other option other than to stop the most powerful man alive by lopping his head off.
Admit that I am right. Break the body, and the spirit follows. Physical pain, bah! Mental anguish is the true weapon. Was it not the key to turning Rakis? Bah! It was the suffering I inflicted, which... Hold! The mortals come! That fool Goroth has failed again! Sooner than expected, but no matter. Our work begins!
Yep.
This will hurt. The pain of failing the Master. Our suffering will be glorious.
Wow,
This hammer forged ancient wonders and shaped the earth itself. Today, it shatters the bonds of fate that seek to crush us all.
So the Hammer of Khazgoroth is one of the tools the Titans left on, known as the Pillars of Creation. The hammer was literally used to raise mountains, and it was wielded by the Titan Khazgoroth themselves, as they were here to shape Azeroth into the world that they wanted. So as you can see, once we place the hammer, its image appeared here. Now this is the Aegis of Agrimar, and Agrimar is obviously one of the Titans as well, and they used it to protect Azeroth from many a demon. The next pillar of creation we're going to set is the Tidestone of... Heck, I don't remember. We'll find out when we get there. But we placed the Tide Stone because the Tide Stone influenced the seas.
The eye of Sargeras, but it was a necessary tactic to secure the future of Azeroth. Let nothing stop you from doing what needs to be done.
So yeah, Illidan used the Naga, which are basically fish people. They were night elves at one point, and those elves lived in Suramar. And when the Sundering happened, which was when the Well of Eternity exploded, the survivors who were cast under the waves were given an offer by the old god N'Zoth, and he promised their queen Ashara that he would save her and her people if they agreed to serve him. And when they agreed, they turned into fish people. And now they work towards bringing N'Zoth back.
Bring the Tide
But
Stone
these
to
were once
us,
elves.
just as our blessed queen foresaw. Slay the intruders. Take back what is ours.
So,
Charge at 10. Pummel.
Charge at 10. No fight. Time to smash.
So all of the fish people, they were, well, they are enthralled by their queen, Ashara. To them, their queen is the most beautiful thing in the entire universe. She bewitches them, and no one can ever break that bewitching. Well, very few can, at least. So whenever they mention their glorious queen, they're talking about Queen Ashara. One of the jokes people like to make is that in the next expansion, the Battle for Azeroth, Queen Ashara ended up with the Tide Stone, and everyone's just like, did we just leave this pillar of creation unguarded or something? And the answer is yes, we did. And now she has it. Well, she doesn't have it anymore, but she acquired it afterwards. Dang, I did not get the piece I wanted. Oh, well. Oh, Golganeth, that's right.
The very lifeblood of Azeroth. Today, it washes clean the darkness that scars our world.
Yep. Hello, Muffin. Tidestone of Golganeth was used for creating the rivers, the oceans, the lakes of Azeroth. And it controls a lot. It's a very powerful pillar of creation. Whew, excuse me. For the next section, we'll have the spirits of the Night Wardens who were hunting Illidan.
Passed since I last walked these halls. I did what needed to be done, though at great cost. Be on your guard. I doubt the spirits trapped here will be friendly or forgiving.
So these are the lost spirits of those that Illidan had sealed in last time he was here and left to die. To be fair, it was half Illidan's fault, half oh, what's your face's fault? The one that who was hunting Illidan so hard back in the day. A night elf warden whose name slips my mind. She brought them here. And it's her fault that they were sealed here because she couldn't get rid of her obsession. Alright. Another boss. These ones switch places as you do damage.
No more Goddess, guide your hand.
You are ever impetuous, Hesperian.
I will dismiss these heretics, yet we fail. The goddess. No, I should have won.
So at least they get to go on into the afterlife now.
Forgive us.
They don't even know why they're here anymore. You've been invited to play Borderlands 3? Yeah, go for it. Yeah, go and have fun. Enjoy your day. Now, no one's really been able to go more into depth as to what this next boss is, so let me give you the basic synopsis. Once this was a sacred burial site for the Night Elves, but the Legion had twisted these grounds with the Engine of Souls. This foul machine draws upon the energy of the dead, twisting them into abominations. Due to this corruption, these tormented spirits have become monstrous, looking to feed on any who descend into the tomb's depths. Whew. Excuse me, but yeah, that is what this thing is. Alright, Silver, you have yourself a good time.
You are fuel for the engine.
So this boss fight has a tendency of glitching.
Resist the master's will.
We will feed. Must continue.
But it did not this time, which is nice. But we're gonna place the Tears of Elune here.
These tears of perfect beauty embody the dream of what our world could be. Today, they purify your hearts for the battle to come. The pillars of creation are in place. Return to the cathedral, and I will reveal the ancient secret this temple holds.
So yeah, now that our pillars of creation are in place, okay, so this drops us back down here. gotta remember my way forward. It's been a while since I've been here. Pretty sure this is the right door, though. Seems like there's a rare spawn over here I've never seen before. Oh, it's a banshee. She didn't drop anything. That's a shame. All right. Now we're back in the central chamber. It's time for us to descend into the depths of the tomb of Sargeras.
The elves built this temple upon a site of ancient power. A vault I believed would safeguard the husk of my fallen foe. But with his disciples' aid, the Dark Titan threatens to return to this world stronger than before.
We will put a stop to Kill Jaden's plan, Egwin. This time, we will not fail.
Bold words.
Oh, there she is. Maeve, that's right.
Victory requires more than courage alone.
Is that demon an ally?
Your alliance and horde had
you mean Illidan here?
Facing slaughter on the broken shore. The deceiver will turn your fears and doubts against you.
So, fun fact, Illidan is actually not a demon. He's a night elf. He is the brother of Malfurion Stormrage, and his path once set him on the path of being a druid as well. However, Illidan knew that that path was not what was his. He knew it wasn't his destiny. He knew that the Burning Legion was coming and that becoming a druid would help no one. So what he did is he made a deal with the Burning Legion, the very beings he was planning to fight, to get a glimpse as to what they were planning. And what the Legion did to him was they burned out his eyes, and that's why he has the blindfold on that you can't really see. But they burned out his eyes, and they replaced them with demon eyes, and they gave him demonic powers. And this was not only very useful to Illidan because he helped push back the first Burning Legion invasion, but it also helped him later on in, fighting the Legion. He didn't have the wings back then either. Those are something that happened later on as well. But when he took the skull of Gul'dan, that's when he got the wings and the big horns. He got this more demonous form, and his brother Malfurion banished him for taking on such demonic power. And once he was banished, he went to a place that was once known as Draenor, but what did the Legion try to get out of this deal? Well, they wanted Illidan. Illidan's a very powerful and capable fighter, and the Legion's always recruiting. So, eventually Illidan betrayed them, secured Outland for himself, and started building an army that would one day betray the Legion. And it was an army of demon hunters. And the demon hunters had taken upon themselves the very power that they were trying to destroy in order to destroy it right back. And that's what he did. And nobody liked him for it because he did some pretty evil shit to make sure his plans came true. So it's not like Illidan is some innocent one in all this. He did some pretty bad things to a lot of people in order to make sure that he succeeded. And he does eventually succeed. His whole thing was to stop Sargeras and the Burning Legion. He literally gave up everything in his entire life for it. And he believes that that is justification for doing all the evil stuff that he does. So, yeah. But he's back now, and he is ready to fulfill his promise of defeating Sargeras. And we're gonna make sure he does that.
What lies below is not for mortal. My vigil ends. Let not the Dark One awaken.
So this is a Titan construct, a statue, basically. And this statue was left here to defend the avatar of Sargeras from ever being used. And it was corrupted by the magic of Fel power and energy, which you'll see its source once we take this elevator down. But yeah, the Legion's... this is the third invasion of Azeroth by these demons, and they're always trying to get an in, right? To get here, because Azeroth is so far away from their conquests on other planets that it's really hard for them to pinpoint exactly where Azeroth is. So they can't just travel here through their interdimensional spaceships or anything like that. They have to infiltrate it in very, very difficult ways. And they can only send ever a handful of demons at a time. Except for when they can establish a very strong portal to the world, which they have tried to use before in these great fonts of power to open these portals to draw in their army. And every time it has been thwarted by the denizens of Azeroth. And now they're here in the Tomb of Sargeras looking to do the exact same thing. And right now they are actively doing it. They're shooting a beam up from the temple's depths, and they have a portal open that allows their army to come through and invade Azeroth.
Damnable mortals.
And it's all because this guy killed Jaden.
Dispatching my underlings and imagining yourselves the equals of the Legion. Heroes, champions, fools. The husk before you was once a vessel for the might of Sargeras. But this temple itself is our prize. The means by which we will reduce your world to cinders. Still, I will not deprive you of this chance to fall before an ancient wonder. Let this avatar be the end of you.
So the guy who is talking killed Jaden. He was once a Draenei, like what my character is. And when he was approached, he, Archimonde, and Velen, the leaders of what the Draenei call the Triumvirate Council, when Sargeras approached them and promised them nothing but glory and good tidings, Prophet Velen saw the future and was like, whoa, this guy's gonna really rock our world in the worst way possible. We shouldn't do this. But Archimonde and Kil'jaeden, who were always wanting for power, accepted the offer. And so the Draenei had to flee their own planet as it was surrendered to the Burning Legion. The Draenei weren't always called the Draenei either. They were originally called the Eridar. And when they fled their planet, that's when they took up the name Draenei, which I believe means refugee or something along those lines. So, yeah. But now the Eridar, the originals that stayed on the planet, are trying to reconnect with their Draenei kin because they realized now that the Burning Legion's gone that they were all seduced by power, they were told a bunch of lies, and now they want to make amends and try to, help the Draenei settle in on Azeroth. So, yeah, a lot's been happening lately in World of Warcraft lore, so that's one of the more recent things, and everyone really liked that change, to be honest. Alright, let's take down this avatar. This thing is what Egwene fought way back in the day, and this is why she needed the powers of the Guardian. And this is just its upper half. It doesn't have its wings.
Deceiver! We have come to end your invasion of Azeroth. Your master's crusade dies here. Is there no end to your sanctimonious bluster, Velen? You claim the mantle of prophet, yet you always lacked the vision. The vision Sargeras showed you was a lie, Kil'jaeden. Surrender! Never! Our crusade will never yield. Savor your shallow victory. We will return again and again, however long it takes, until at last we break you.
The portal is closing. We can seal the Legion's gateway and end this invasion.
No! No more running! No more hiding! I must finish this!
Velen, stop!
I don't know why they're up there. They're supposed to be down here.
Nothing, Archmage. Whether it takes a few years or millennia, the Legion will return. Over and over again, until too few of us remain to fight them. It is time to seize our fate. We must use the portal and follow the Deceiver into the abyss. It is the only way.
I agree. It is the only way. Go, champions. We have precious little time to save Velen and return before the portal closes.
Come. If we are to die in the Nether, we will take the Deceiver with us.
Let's see. So this is this is deadly boss mods, and I think that's what skipped the cutscene last time, but I don't really need deadly boss mods for this. What the deadly boss mods add-on does is that it helps instruct during raids where you're trying to coordinate a lot of things, and it's like, hey, you're standing where you're not supposed to be, or hey, you need to get ready to defend yourself, things like that. But yeah, so everyone jump through the portal. Instead of closing it, we're gonna go and bring this fight to the Legion now, which again was very unexpected at the time. So this is one of the Legion interdimensional ships we are on, as it returns to their home base. So as you can see, we're clearly traveling somewhere at a great rate of speed. I won't really spoil where that is until we get there, but it is a really cool reveal that nobody really expected, and everyone was really excited for. Probably one of the greatest bits of story World of Warcraft had before it went to total shit in the War Within. Alright. Now we confront Kill Jaden. This is actually, in the Warcraft universe, this is actually the third time we, the Denizens of Azeroth, has faced against Kill Jaden. Though in World of Warcraft itself, we only fought him once before in the Sunwell, when he tried to use the Sunwell as a font to open up a portal for another Legion invasion, which we thwarted. We stopped them from doing that. And now we're here to fight him again. So this fight can be quite buggy. I probably will die a couple of times trying to figure out how I'm supposed to do this on my own, because there are certain mechanics that require you to have teammates to spread out and stuff like that. So we'll see if they've made it easier.
It's a simple matter to show still you resist. Then let me repay your arrogance. Obliteration a vessel for my fury. Who will save you now?
Oh shoot, that's the thing I was talking about. Oh good, they stopped the knockback from being so intense.
Who will share your fate?
This boss was one of the most difficult bosses. So the goal here was to get as close to that as possible so it wouldn't blow you off the edge. I'm hoping that it will show us where we are headed.
I sense the corruption inside you.
Doesn't seem like it, but we'll get to see it in the cutscene. So, Argus is where we ended up. Argus is the home planet of the Draenei.
Died fighting. Our war isn't over yet.
So this is a powerful artifact that Illidan stole before Legion, and it is literally a key that lets them open up a portal to wherever they want. So Illidan opens up this massive portal back to Azeroth.
Take us home.
But Khadgar doesn't really realize what that means.
I was always envious of you. Your gift, your faith, your vision. I never believed that Sargeras could be stopped. Perhaps you will prove me wrong.
Everyone, get ready!
So now we're home back on Azeroth.
Everyone all right?
And back in the Legion expansion, you would look up to the sky and you would see this.
What have you done? Sometimes the hand of fate must be forced.
So, you know how I said the Legion keeps trying to open up portals to try to get to Azeroth? Well, what Illidan essentially did was he opened up a portal that was more than planet-sized and gave us access to the Burning Legion's home base, basically. But that also gave the Legion access to Azeroth from their home base. But this red star you see here, that is what is left after that portal closed, when the war was won. But it was, let me tell you, it was something to look up into the sky and see Argus, the home planet of the demons, just looming there. It was, quite frankly, one of the best visuals the game had for the longest time. And now we can get our loot. Excuse me. So we got a lot of other sets, but we didn't quite get the sets we were going for, which was the Paladin set. But our next stop is Argus. We're gonna go to Argus, and we are going to try to get this set from Antorus, the Burning Throne, where Sargeras is planning all this crazy
King's
stuff.
honor, friend.
So let's go sell our stuff, and then we'll go to there. So basically, he forced everyone's hand in order to bring things to a conclusion. Exactly. Because Illidan knew that you could fight the demons over and over and over again, but it wouldn't matter. They come back. We don't. So Illidan was a bit of a psychopath, and he was one of those people who would literally throw the entire world into the deep end of the pool, whether or not it was ready to swim. Because, quite honestly, it was either get thrown into the deep end of the pool or eventually being swamped by a tidal wave and not being able to swim. But yeah, when we got to Argus, though, which this teleporter will take us there.
Thank the light I found you. I must speak with you at once.
This ship called the Vindicar, I believe this was the this is the Vindicar. We took this light ship to Argus, and this ship right here, the one out the window, is called the Zenidar, and the Zenidar held the Prime Naru in it, and that Prime Naru, and along with a large amount of light forged Draenei, and including the human paladin Turelian and the high elf Illyria, were fighting the Legion for hundreds of years. And you might ask yourself, well, how could a human like Turelian be fighting for hundreds of years? Well, out here on Argus, the fel energy is so strong that it is become part of the Twisting Nether, and time doesn't work well in the Twisting Nether. What is 100 years here is mere moments elsewhere. So yeah, we brought the fight here. Let me show you the map of this place. And these were the three main sections that we focused on. This was once the Erideth, the city of Erideth, and it was where the Counts of the Triumvirate used to convene. This is the crash of the Zenidar, and where they were trying to breach a certain area. I don't remember what it was called, but it was known as, this area is known as Kokrun. And over here is the Antoran Waste, and out here is the raid we're going to. The I just said it a moment ago. Antorus, the Burning Throne. So, yeah. Out here, you could do a bunch of world events. That's what these portal indications are. They're greater invasion points. And what you could do was you could go into these portals, and these portals were basically staging points in other worlds that had already fallen to the Burning Legion. and you could disrupt their plans on other worlds, making it much harder for them to operate. It was really fun. And Taurus was
reckless, and
just one of the best areas. I enjoyed this so much.
Destroy their stockpiles.
There's actually an achievement you can get out here, where you get the Demon Slayer title, and you have to kill 5,000 demons to get it. And I got it a long time ago. You can't fly out here, however, and navigating this place can be quite difficult. I'm trying to find the entrance to the raid, and there it is right there. So this was opened by the Vindicar, because as you quest out here, you upgrade the ship as you go along, and you basically plug in this big ass light cannon to it. And when we get into the raid, you'll be able to see what the Vindicar turns into. It's not just this purple crystal ship anymore.
Secure this position.
Let's see. Can we see the Vindicar from here?
The Vindicar will draw all the fire we can, Turalian, but we cannot hold out long. You must disable their defenses.
We will not.
But we'll be able to see it later on the raid.
Champions, we'll keep these winged beasts occupied while you clear a path.
Oh, right. Are we still on heroic? Okay, yeah, I gotta go and change the raid difficulty. So that means I gotta exit the raid. That's my bad. But yeah, basically everything that came before the Burning Legion, like Arthas, Deathwing, all those things were small time compared to the Burning Legion. I cannot emphasize
secure this position.
How big of a move it was for us to end the Burning Legion.
The Vindicar will draw all the
this is
fire we
Turalian,
can,
by the way.
Turalian,
He's really cool.
Cannot hold out long. You
Half his sword is made of light.
Disable their defenses.
We will not fail you, Prophet. Champions, we'll keep these winged beasts occupied while you clear a path.
So as you can see, the Legion has these portals, and these portals help bring in more reinforcements from other worlds. And the music for here is just glorious. It's so good. You felt both hopeful and hopeless at the same time listening to it. Let's see. No sign of the Vindicar, but there's Antorus, the Burning Throne. That is where we are heading.
In contact. Deploy Nozu.
Yep.
We're gaining ground. Press the attack. Light forged, fall back! Champions, bring that monstrosity down!
So these are the Light Forged Draenei, and the difference between a Light Forged Draenei and a regular Draenei is that these have been blessed by a very powerful Naru, which is the basic beings of pure light. And, yeah.
Enemy combatants detected. Threat apocalypse drive.
Light Forged Draenei, they dedicate their entire life to
apocalypse drive engaged.
To defeating the Burning Legion, and they've been fighting out here for, as I said, hundreds of years.
Rerouting power to
Turalian, I've started my assault on the northern front. I'll keep their forces occupied so you can hit the priority targets.
Our forces are moving towards Legion High Command. Buy us all the time you can, Illyria.
These guys are so cool. So Illyria is the high elf wife of Turelian, and she doesn't believe that the light is strong enough to defeat not only the Burning Legion, but the Void itself. So she took upon herself to learn the ways of the Void, much as the ways the Demon Hunters took on Fel energy to defeat the Burning Legion. She took on the Void to defeat the Void. And she's not the only one. There's a whole race of Void Elves out there that are just trying to live to serve Azeroth and stop the Void. But they are very often shunned by their people because to everyone else, the Void is just pure evil. It's amazing how even something as far back as Antorus, the Burning Throne, has relevance to the next expansion that is coming out. But this is where it all began. This is where Xalatath began. This is where we got to see that the light isn't just this all-purifying force of good. It is a very self-interested voice. Ooh. That might make me some money in the auction house. I need to put that down here. So basically the leggings I got just here are bind when equipped. That means I can sell them in the auction house, whereas everything else is soulbound, which means I can only sell it to a vendor.
Garrus has left us a few of his favorite pets to play with. Remove these abominations from the battlefield.
But yeah, I really like Illyria's story. I always wondered what happened to Illyria and Turelian, because they were mentioned in the Burning Crusade. I've never had these two jump up there like that. What is that all about? Get down here. Where did the other one go? What the heck happened? Oh no, they're back. Alright, I don't know what that was all about, but let's not waste any time and try to engage them as fast as possible this time. But yeah, Illyria and Turelian, their whole thing was always a mystery because they
That's two demons down,
were lost together.
but countless more
They
await
went
the
out
attention
to
of our blade.
the Outland by going through the Dark Portal on Azeroth and stealing the portal from the other side so that the Second War could come to an end. And so basically they sacrificed themselves, them along with Khadgar, to be banished in Outland. Basically, they thought forever. And when the Dark Portal reopened on Azeroth during World of Warcraft's first expansion, the Burning Crusade, we went out to Outland, and we only found Khadgar. Turelian and Illyria were nowhere to be found, and nobody had seen them for years and years. No one knew what happened to them. Little did anyone know they were on the Zenithar, fighting the Legion in the Twisting Nether, which is something no one could have expected. And when in the Legion expansion, Turelian sent the heart of the Prime Naru, Zira. He sent her heart out into the galaxy to maybe land on Azeroth one day, and it did. And we got the message from Turellian that he needs our help.
Peace to Argus. They betrayed everything we stood for when they accepted his bargain. There can be no redemption.
Thank you for the hydrate.
Retribution.
All right. While I work my hands, I'll continue telling you. So, Zira, when we found her heart on Azeroth, we took it to our class order hall, and she gave us a bunch of quests so that we can learn about the past to better prepare for the future. In particular, she wanted to learn about the history of Illidan, Illidan Stormrage. And no, the heart of Zira is literally a rock made of pure light. But we learned about Illidan Stormrage, how he was, born to be a beacon of the light and stuff like that in Zira's eyes. I mean, for a kobold, they would love it, but Zira was going to force Illidan down a path that she wanted, and Illidan did not want that. He was supposedly going to be the chosen one of the light and the forces of good. And when Illidan rejected this power that Zira literally was trying to force onto him, like, she grabbed him and tried to infuse him with this light energy against his will. Illidan said, "My destiny is my own," and he killed her. He killed the Prime Naru. And Velen was stunned because Velen, the prophet, he is, very much a believer in the light and the good that the Naru bring. But he couldn't believe that a being as mobile as Zira would force someone against their will to accept the light. And it kind of threw him into sort of an emotional state where he didn't know what to do for himself. Turellian, he was just angry. He tried to kill Illidan, and when he tried to kill Illidan stopped him, and he said, "There can't be any chosen one. We're all in this together, and we will either bring the Legion down together or not at all."
This is one engagement you will not walk away from.
I hope you enjoy my inventions. Legion, show these weaklings why we are the dominant force in the cosmos.
More pieces.
The War Council has finally paid.
Oh, wow.
Treachery.
I actually have never seen the rogue set from Taurus. That's really cool. That's really cool. Which pieces do I need again? What bosses am I looking for? Kin Garoth, which we haven't fought yet. Inar the Lifebinder. Entoran High Command, which is not here. Agamar of Entorus. Okay. So this one we got the shoulders from, so continue forward. But yeah, thanks for coming today, yeah. Appreciate you. I'm just gonna jump down this hole. Being a paladin is so cool. I feel this game is a visual splendor, and they have done a really good job in bringing it from 2006 to 2024. Could they do more? Absolutely. There's a lot of stuff that they could refresh in the game to bring it up to like modern standards of gaming. But I feel like the paladin animations and stuff, and just animations in general, have improved so much since since Classic. And so one of the things that I especially appreciate the devs doing is bringing these back. because from Cataclysm up until Dragonflight, your options for talent points were like only a handful of options. It was really lackluster and boring. You had a choice in each level bracket that you got to choose from 3 things, and often if you didn't follow exactly what the meta was, you weren't taken along into raids and stuff like that. And while some of that still happens today, it's a lot less common to run into when people try to experiment and do new things with their talent point system. It's really nice, and people do optimize it. Like I'm running what is currently, quote unquote, the meta build, but that's just because I haven't had time to really look through and decide for myself if the meta build is what I want. And in fact, I'm not following it 100%. The meta build for Paladins actually calls for me to switch this talent here, which makes my main Crusader Strike a passive ability. Which, yes, the Crusader Strikes is a better one than Templar Strikes, which is what I have currently, but I like Templar Strikes better because it gives me more buttons to press. I don't feel like I have any downtime in my damage. And while the other one may perform better and is passive and I don't have to worry about it, it doesn't feel as good, in my opinion. And my opinion on that may change as the War Within progresses, but for now.
There is a disturbance close to your location, the likes of which I haven't felt since the opening of the Dark Portal. If
Can we see the
Legion is
Vindicator
using
yet?
that
No, not
hub
yet.
to gather reinforcements, then it must be destroyed before we are overwhelmed.
So this next boss I'm going to fight is actually, what I'm doing is I'm going to save the soul of one of the Titans. And I would say out of all the Titans, this Titan is perhaps the least douchey one out there. Her name is Aenar, and she is the Titan of nature and life. She is known as the Lifebinder, and you hear that title, the Lifebinder, and you think, oh well, she obviously spreads life around Azeroth. Not quite. She doesn't spread life. She takes the life that's already there and she binds it. It's a literal title. She takes all life in nature and binds it to her will so that it doesn't run rampant. Alright, yeah, enjoy your stream. I hope that you have a good one. And there's actually a good
Champions, hear me. The Legion has breached my sanctuary, and my defenses will soon be overrun. Stand with me now, lest Sargeras claim his prize.
It's Aenar, the Lifebinder. This portal leads to her sanctuary. Go! I'll stay here. Cover your backs.
So, there's actually a good reason as to why Aenar binds life and controls it. Because life unchecked actually leads to life consuming. Because there is nothing given that isn't taken from something else. And what life does, in this case, wildlife, plants, things like that, is that it consumes the life of others to grow itself. And on Draenor, that was actually a big problem that they had, is that life was running rampant and these giant titans were fighting on their planet. And when I say titans, I don't mean the Titan pantheon, the forgers of worlds and stuff like that. I'm talking about big giant things. Life unchecked is dangerous in this universe. and it does need to be controlled to an extent. This boss fight is really difficult alone on Mythic difficulty because it's a tower defense quest, basically. This is the life essence of Aenar, and after she was slain by Sargeras, this is where she fled to hide, and now the Legion has discovered her, so we have to defend her life essence. Okay.
Champions,
here we go.
The forces of the Legion seek to capture my essence for their infernal master.
I need to remember where I need to go. Up here. So basically what I have done there is I've made it to where they can't get in. Gotta destroy this thing though, because this thing fires at a ridiculous rate. Okay, and then I have to head down here.
Be gone, intruders! The invaders are charging their weapons. Quickly, use these portals to board their vessel. Stop their attack.
So if I don't stop this from firing, it causes a huge chunk of damage to Aenar. And I gotta get this down as fast as possible. This is the timer right here, so you'll see how close it gets. Now we gotta head back down here before it's too late.
Defeat them before they reach. Feel the potency of life. Fear its power.
That was close. Okay, we have to go over there. Oh, that was close. All right.
Minions of darkness, you will know the might of a Titan.
Oh. Do I have to go back on the ship yet? Doesn't
The
seem like
invaders are
it.
charging their weapons.
Oh, yep, there we go.
Quickly, use these portals to board their vessel. Stop their attack.
This should be the last one I have to fend off, but she's at 50% health. She has taken a lot of damage. So I gotta be really, really quick. Shoot. And that's gonna slow me down. And undoubtedly, she is going to find herself under siege here in a moment. Alright. Uh-oh. We gotta get off the ship. And then we have to get back to her. Oh no! Oh no! Let me down! Let me down!
My resistance wanes. Should Sargeras prevail, All life will fall to darkness. Victory is nigh, champions. Dispatch their remaining forces. I will see to their vessel myself.
Oh, so she was at 35% health left. That was a close one.
The tormented cries of the Pantheon ring out from deep within the core of Argus. If Sargeras breaks them, as he did Agramar, no power in this universe will stop him.
So, what she's talking about is Sargeras' friend Agramar, another Titan, was corrupted by Sargeras and basically tortured until Agramar would do as he said. And he's actually one of the bosses we have to fight in here. And once we fight him, his spirit gets freed and uncorrupted. So he becomes himself again. Agramar was the first to fall to Sargeras when he was corrupted by the Whispers of Darkness. Sargeras saw a vision of a Titan, Azeroth in this case, falling to the void and becoming a being that would usher in a future of eternal darkness and suffering for all the universe. Not death, but suffering forever. And he feared this future so much that he concluded that the only way to save the universe was to cleanse it of all life. And you might think that that sounds counterintuitive, but his logic was, if I destroy all life everywhere, maybe one day life will spring up anew on its own, and maybe without the great threats that the universe faces now. He was very wrong, but that's why that's why he betrayed everything he believed in and everything he loved, because he thought he was right. So when he fell to corruption, he went to his friend Agramar and he said, Agramar, I need you with me. I need you to help me with my burden crusade. And Agramar said, no, absolutely not. And even though Sargeras didn't want to do it, he... Oh, there's the Vindicar, by the way. That's what it turns into once you upgrade it fully. He killed Agramar. And Agramar's sword was actually shattered in two by
the Legion's ranks are crumbling.
By Sargeras.
Still outnumbered us. My forces will keep them engaged here.
You will not be fighting alone, Terrellian. The demons will pay for every step with their blood.
Sargeras seeks to corrupt the other Titans. If we don't stop him, the Pantheon will be reborn in darkness. There's no time to waste.
Striking at the heart of the Legion is futile until we take out their war machines. Unchecked, they would soon overwhelm us.
Agreed. We must cripple those infernal engines of destruction. Champions, use this teleporter to board the Vindicar. On to our next target.
So yeah, we're making good ground, this is the furthest everyone has ever been to actually beating the Legion. And right now, there's hope. Alright, so the Vindicar has taken us here, where we will face our next challenge.
Beyond these blast doors lies the heart of the Legion's war machine. Eliminating this threat will cripple the demon's arsenal.
And he means that quite literally.
Halt.
So think of this guy as the Legion's bounty hunter.
You'll go no further, mortal scum. There's a bounty on your heads, and I mean to collect.
And he is a very vicious bounty hunter. And I'm going to kill him as fast as possible because this fight's actually pretty complicated. So there's these wind currents that are blowing me around.
You're not gonna make it out of this alive.
And he moves back and forth. Oh, shoot. Will this free me? No. Oh! That's not good. So he drops these traps along the bridge that can stun me. I'm not likely to die from them, but it's hard to avoid them because the wind blows me around. And they could bounce me off if I get hit by them. So I have to be careful. Not too careful. The red ones I can probably walk right through, but the green ones can bounce me off. Now I can use my movement ability. Oh, shoot. Well then, that was entirely on me. I would not be a very good raid member right now. Alright. Oh, right, I gotta interrupt him first.
You've gotta be faster than you're not gonna make it out of this alive.
So I'm gonna wait over here because he might come back, or he may die before he gets to come back. Okay, there he goes.
I regret taking this job.
So this is the Vindicar's gun. It's gonna open this door for us. Let's see. I may have gotten the leggings I was after. Unless I already had the leggings. Let's see. Yeah, I already had the leggings. So far, I have gotten 0 pieces of this set, which is a shame. But that's just sometimes how it goes, because all the other sets get mixed in. But one of the good things they recently introduced in one of the recent patches is that I can collect the appearances of other armor sets now. I won't only collect plate armor appearances, I also collect leather and cloth in mail sets. I think that applies to weapons as well, so I think I also collect weapon types that I can't use. So for example, if I get a bow or a gun, I should be able to get the appearance of it as well. They have basically made old content that looks cool more accessible to anyone who wants to go and seek it.
In need of test subjects. You should do nicely. You hope to top up my machines with those pathetic weapons.
Where's the loot?
The Legion is in its death throes. Time to put our boots to their throats. Return to the Vindicar and prepare to strike the killer.
Oh, the loot's down there. Is there any way I can get it down there? No? Well, that's unfortunate. It's gotta be somewhere I can stand to grab it, right? Well, that sucks. Oh well. I did need a piece of armor for them too, didn't I? Yeah, the gloves. Let's see. The Burning Throne is where we're going next.
The heart of Antoris lies before us. The power behind the Legion's infinite army.
So much agony here. So many voices, it's nearly overwhelming. Alien are urging us forward.
At long last, the end is upon us. Press on, my friends.
So these are corrupted Titan constructs that I'm fighting now. These are the very things that the Titans would use on planets to help defend the planets from void corruption. But these have been twisted by Sargeras to serve a different purpose. And as I mentioned, this is going to be the very heart of the Legion's power. Alright, Mama, you have yourself a relaxing day.
Endured far worse.
I tire of that worm's babbling. Let me scorch the flesh from his miserable bones!
Hello? Ignore him, sister. Focus on your duty. These souls are nearly ready to join Agramar in the Master's service.
So these are the Coven of Shivara. They are torturers. What they are doing is they have the Titan souls here, and they're torturing them. But there's one in particular they are torturing that we have met before, named Varimathras.
Your alliance still endures. Longer than I expected, though she has already planted the seeds of its downfall. She is patient, that one. When your thrones run red with betrayal, when your holy places burn, and the shattered mask hangs above your hearth, only then will you know. And it will be too late. It matters not. You are blind to the true darkness closing in around you.
So Varimathras is a Dreadlord, and he served under Sylvanas after Sylvanas basically took control of the undead known as the Forsaken. And Varimathras was like a vizier, like an advisor to her. And he ended up betraying her using an alchemist named Putris, and he betrayed Sylvanas to try to bring Sargeras into the world of Azeroth. So, like, while he pledged fealty to Sylvanas, he planned to betray her the whole time and was just trying to get Sargeras into the world. And he nearly succeeded, but with the combined efforts of the Horde and Alliance, they retook the Undercity and killed Varimathras. And when he failed Sargeras, he was brought here to be tortured by the Coven of Shivara, and now we have to fight him again. Kill him once and for all.
We will trade pain for pain.
Look, the wretch struggles against the mortal intruders.
Death. Claim.
Pathetic! Let them all burn!
His fate will...
Damnable witches!
So, Dreadlords are also known as the Nathrazine. And I don't want to go deep into the lore about them, but they are infiltrators. They are good at infiltrating societies, and they are usually the initial attack force that the Legion uses to destabilize the planet's economies and political climate, so they are weakened when the Legion arrives. And it has been successful on countless planets until Azeroth. I'm not sure I'm gonna do this one, because you gotta keep them separate in order to do damage.
I am a chief running down your spine.
Unless they just remove that requirement altogether.
See your limbs roasting.
Which is what it looks like.
The souls of the Pantheon are free, but they endured so much suffering. Let me bide with them for a time. Offer a bit of comfort.
Remain here, Magni. The rest of us will go on.
So these are the souls of the other Titans. Khazgaroth, Amonthul, etc. They're all here. And they were being worked on to be corrupted like Agramar. Aggramar was the first to fall, but the Sargeras wanted the whole Pantheon. Because with the entire Titan Pantheon behind him, no one would have been able to stop him. But the Pantheon endured, resisted, fled, hid, like Aenar, but Aenar was the one that they missed.
This may be the one place in the universe sacred to the Legion. Demons would pluck out their eyes sooner than gaze upon it.
Who could ever imagine such a sacrifice?
So, yeah, this is the world soul of Argus. A titan that was unborn when Sargeras found it and uncorrupted of the void. When Sargeras discovered Argus, instead of freeing the world soul to be grown on its own, Sargeras decided to use its power by basically pushing it through agony, and that's what allows demons to be reconstituted, is the Titan Argus's power. Alright, and this is the avatar of Aggramar. I just want to put that out there. The Titans are beings of such size and scope that they can't properly influence planets because of how big they are. So they make these avatars that house their souls so they can go down to planets and influence them on ground level. This was started after Aman'Thul came to Azeroth and saw the corruption of the old gods, and he targeted the most powerful one, Y'Shaarj. He literally ripped it out of the planet. And it caused such damage and devastation to the planet that the Well of Eternity was placed over the wound it made to try to heal it. And realizing his mistake, Aman'Thul basically decreed that we can't deal with the old gods that way. We have to be able to go down there and settle this on their turf. And so they did. And they made these constructs to do it.
You will burn! Peshalak's power is unleashed!
Peshalak is the weapon of Aggramar.
You may have withstood the flames, but you will not withstand my fury! The power of Peshalak will consume you! Your modicum of skill will be insufficient to save you! Maybe too late to stop you.
He did it! Aggramar's essence is free! He
Oh,
can
so you got the
stand
helmet.
beside his brethren once more!
Our victories mean nothing. So long as Sargeras has the soul of Argus to fuel his infinite army, Azeroth remains in grave peril.
The Titans can sever that connection, but not here. They need to bring the soul of Argus to their place of power, the seat of the Pantheon.
The very cradle of creation.
Their final act will harness the last of Argus's power to imprison Sargeras once and for all. Heroes, I can signal the Titans to begin. Once they start their ritual, there's no turning back.
So this was like the penultimate moment in the Legion expansion. This is the last boss.
Azeroth
And
cries out in pain. All right, everybody.
we never imagined we would ever see the seat of the Pantheon, let alone go there to fight a Titan on its own turf, basically. And Argus was an unfortunate sacrifice that needed to be made to stop Sargeras.
That which you have stolen will be your undoing. Rise, Argus. Rise, my broken world.
Mortals, the time has come to fight for the fate of your world.
Not only did this fight allow us to determine the fate of the Burning Legion, it also gave us a sense that we could stop the Titans if need be. We could defeat them if they decided to betray us. In the background, you can see Argus there on the right, but on the left, there's this dark cloud that is manifesting around Azeroth. And what that is the essence of Sargeras trying to manifest physically so that he can destroy the planet. Well, not destroy the planet, basically take Azeroth for himself. Let's go ahead and fight Argus the Unmaker, which on Mythic difficulty had a secret hidden phase to it.
Let the fury of the sea wash away this corruption. You have done well, mortals.
It is time.
We must gather our strength. Return home, children of Azeroth.
Illidan, we've done all we can.
Every choice, every sacrifice has led me to this moment.
Yeah, it's a pretty rough cut. They get better at it as the expansions go on, but this was the first time they really had these kind of cutscenes that were actually somewhat well transitioned.
Did you not see this fate, prophet?
Fate. Our survival was never in fate's hands. Light be with you, Illidan Stormrage.
Well, this was back when they were trying to like reshape World of Warcraft into being more cinematic, more story driven.
Is over.
And that is Sargeras. And the true size of the Titans is revealed. They are absolutely massive. And that red star that you see in the sky now is that. That sword is still in Azeroth to this day. after the defeat of Argus, Sargeras plunged the sword into Azeroth. For what purpose, we can't actually be sure. But one of the interesting things that we see from up here afterwards is void corrupted planets in the background. And you can see just all sorts of stuff. But you can all, I mean, the void corrupted planets is like the main feature here. Very interesting scene afterwards. Excuse me. And one of the things, because Illidan is a very long time fan favorite of the franchise, there's this crystal that was left behind at him. And it says, "The crystal calls to you, resonating with sorceress magic. As you take hold of it, you hear the echo of a message left behind, a duty Illidan entrusted to you." And we'll go ahead and do this quest, because it's got a good story behind it.
The moment that the way to Argus opened, the instant my gaze fell upon the Legion's homeworld, I knew I would not be returning from it. I will face my destiny, whatever it may hold. Yet, I have left certain matters unsettled. Old wounds that I would see mended. This crystal bears two messages. One is for my brother Malfurion, the other for Tyrande. I am trusting you to deliver them on my behalf, champion. When they have heard my words, leave the crystal atop Mount Hyjal, upon the shores of the Well of Eternity. You have witnessed echoes of my past, hero. I ask your help to put these final matters to rest.
So, Tyrande Whisperwind is actually someone that Illidan had a crush on and loved very dearly. Tyrande did not, share that affection. She actually loved Illidan's brother Malfurion, and that is who she currently is with, as husband and wife. But Illidan still loved her nonetheless, and he would still do anything for her. He would never do anything to put her in harm's way. And even though he knew that going and doing the things that he did to stop the Burning Legion would cost him the respect of someone he loved so dearly, he still did it. He still went out there and he fought and won. But now that that's all over, he wants to deliver these messages to his brother and Tyrande, who he had betrayed, to accomplish his goals. So let's go and see what they have to say. And then the Well of Eternity is the remnants of the original Well of Eternity that was made by Illidan on the top of Mount Hyjal. The dragons, to conceal the power of this new Well of Eternity, put the world tree Nordrassil on top of it. And that hid the power of the well from the Burning Legion. And it also gave the Night Elves immortality.
Thank the light I found you. I must speak with you at once.
Oh, yay. So the boss we weren't able to loot, the loot was recovered by the postmaster, so I did end up getting the gloves for the set that I wanted.
I require your aid with a matter of the utmost importance.
Let me show you that set again. So that means we're only missing the wrist guards from ANR and the cloak from the Antorus High Command. Okay, so Malfurion should be in Val'sharah.
For the insistence, but we must speak immediately.
I love coming here and just ignoring that guy. But let's see now. Yep, to Valshara. So we'll get to see what Malfurion and Tyrande say about Illidan's last words, basically. Now, there is some speculation that within the next 3 expansions of World of Warcraft, we may see Illidan again. He may return and help us stop whatever is going on, because the whole point of Eridikron's gambit is he wants a swing at the Titans, and the only way to get them to respond is to get him to come here. Out of all these zones, Valshara was always my favorite one to level up in.
The soul of our world is in agony. Greetings, friend.
Illidan requested that I bring this crystal to you.
May nature guide your path. The crystal. It rings out with a familiar voice.
Malfurion. Even in the womb, we grappled with one another. Struggle has followed us all our lives. The teachings of Cenarius were always your path. I felt another calling. It was power I sought, but not to conquer or rule. It was a means to an end, to save Azeroth from an unstoppable foe. You never trusted my intentions, though I suppose I did not make it easy for you. But now, as my fate becomes clear, I wish to quiet the strife that has long divided us. Even when the Legion is gone, new threats will arise. There is no one I trust to face them, more than you, brother. You have spent a lifetime fighting for the dream of what Azeroth could be. Now you must fight for what it is. Take care of Tyrande. Listen to her counsel. She was always the best of us. The road ahead will be long. Whatever comes, bring honor to the name Stormrage.
My brother made selfish choices, caused pain to so many. His transgressions are difficult to forgive. And yet, there were times when we fought for a common cause, a shared purpose. Those were good days. And now is not the time to ponder personal regrets. We must see to healing the world, champion.
Yep. So that's what Malfurion had to say about it all. Now let's go and see what Tyrande thinks.
In my lifetime,
so this is where Ysera ended up dying to the hands of Xavius.
what would you ask of the Kaldorei?
That's why it looks like this. Illidan requests I bring you this crystal to you.
We will fight to protect our future. I sense a sorcerer's touch upon this crystal.
Tyrande, long ago, you trusted me enough to defy Malfurion's wishes and free me from my prison. But over time, that faith was lost. And like my brother, you came to believe that the choices I made had driven me to darkness. Know that every path I took led toward a single purpose, saving our world. I could abide no half measures, no compromise. At those times when I faced doubt, I held true to one constant, one anchor. You have always embodied the best of Azeroth, Tyrande. Your faith, your devotion. Through the darkest times, my belief in you never wavered. My fate, my duty, are now clear to me. I leave Azeroth's defense to you and to my brother. Take care of him, Tyrande. Though at times I wished your heart had made a different choice. In the end, I know it made the right one.
Contrite words. Yet I must wonder whether he truly meant them. After Illidan faced defeat atop the Black Temple, I tried to let go of my feelings, my distrust and bitterness. When I learned that he was alive, leading the fight against the Legion on the Broken Shore, I could not bring myself. The time for talk has passed. Seems he has a duty to fulfill. As do we. Let us be about it, champion.
Yep, so basically she still doesn't forgive him. Still suspicious, still doubtful. Which, considering how he betrayed them and stuff like that, is understandable. But now we head to Mount Hyjal to place the crystal atop it. Let's see, the nearest portal's over here. It's crazy to see people here. Not a lot of people explore around the world. Well, at least they ain't used to. Let's see. The nearest portal is going to be across the city, and it leads right to Mount Hyjal, so we're going to go to that one. That person's having some latency issues. Cool mount. Dusklight Razorwing, huh? Let's take a look. Where do you get that? Korthia. Interesting. Alright, here's our portal to Mount Hyjal, where we will place the crystal and lay it to rest. So, as I said before, Tyrande, Malfurion, and Illidan used to work together. They were the best of friends. They always did what they thought was right for the world to try to defend it. And this pond here, this is the new Well of Eternity, and it was made by Illidan Stormrage. This is actually why he was arrested and sent to the place Tyrande broke him out of. But here we go.
The Well of Eternity. I am not one for sentiment, but if anything embodies my commitment to Azeroth, it is the font of power I created so long ago. But enough dwelling on the past. The crystal I left for you to find holds not 2 messages, but 3. The last is for you, champion. You have proven your commitment to Azeroth. Your dedication, your sacrifice, rivals my own. But more will be asked of you. So much more. Even now, enemies gather, and the shadows grow darker. From this day forward, the defense of our world, of all we hold dear, rests with you.
Yep. After bringing Illidan's crystal to the Well of Eternity, you feel a sense of satisfaction, as if a circle is now completed. Whether he was a hero or a betrayer, both or neither, Illidan has a duty to fulfill, as do you. That did kind of give us a sense of closure to Illidan's story, considering how long it had gone on. And now we are dealing with a whole new problem in Azeroth. One born of the situation that was brought about by the Legion expansion. I'm gonna go ahead and stop by Silithus so that y'all can see the big sword sticking out of the planet. Because Silithus is the continent in which the sword had pierced. Oh wait, that's right. I got a scroll that'll teleport me right there because the War Within has something to do with it. So let's do that.
Another vision. You saw it too.
They're growing stronger.
Interesting.
The way forward will not be easy.
Locust Walker told us that the people of his homeworld once received a vision not unlike the Radiant Song, and then Koresh fell to shadow. By the time the Ethereals realized the world was warning them of the coming danger, it was already too late. We cannot allow the same thing to happen to Azeroth. So I'm going to play a movie. It'll sort of bring us up to speed as to what's been going on.
From the moment the Dark Titan Sargeras plunged his colossal blade into our world, crucial events were set in motion. Magni Bronzebeard heard the cries of Azeroth, giving up everything to answer her call.
Since being wounded by the Mad Titan, Azeroth has been crying out in pain.
As her dutiful speaker, he rallied the champions to her aid, and ultimately to confront the return of the old god, N'Zoth. It was during this conflict that Xal'atath, a mysterious entity of the Void, made a deal with N'Zoth, freeing her from the cursed blade that bound her essence within.
Honor our bargain. Free me to find my own fate.
After she vanished into the darkness, N'Zoth was confronted by the mortal champions and destroyed, ending the old god's reign of terror. But they were not the only malevolent force with its eyes set on Azeroth. For soon, the sky was sundered, the Shadowlands split open, and our heroes were pulled into the realm of death itself.
Go, champion! Go!
It was there that Anduin Wrynn endured the worst. Captured, tortured, and through dark domination magics, forced to commit terrible acts against his will.
I'm afraid that if I call on the light, it won't answer.
Scarred and shaken by his experience, he vanished, his whereabouts unknown. After the threat of the Shadowlands had been quelled, the dragons of Azeroth returned to their ancestral homeland. It was here that the primal dragon, Iridikron, broke free of his prison, and in pursuit of vengeance upon the Titans who he felt had stolen our world, he secured an ancient, powerful artifact, the Dark Heart
when the Titans come to reclaim their prize. I will be waiting.
As word of this new threat started to spread, people began experiencing strange visions. The Radiant Song
is being heard all across Azeroth. The Council doesn't know what to make of it.
It was then that Illyria Windrunner, a deadly huntress who had harnessed the powers of the Void as a weapon against the darkness, was summoned to investigate.
We still don't know what this Dark Heart relic is capable of, but we do know it's in the hands of someone called the Harbinger.
It was not long before Illyria discovered the Harbinger's true identity. Xal'atath, the mysterious figure, was once again on the move. While neither Xal'atath nor the Dark Heart could be found, her mentor, the enigmatic Locust Walker, issued Illyria a dire warning.
The radiant visions you spoke of are the very same my people had before our world was consumed by the Void Lord Dimensius.
Could Xal'atath be seeking that same fate for Azeroth?
You must find a way to stop her. If you cannot, then Azeroth is already doomed.
This is the first time they've ever had a recap video as part of one of their quests. Kind of neat.
A long road lies before us.
We're all here. Good. Let's find out what the Radiant Song is trying to tell us.
Be careful who you trust.
Loktar.
Never before has Azeroth called out so strongly to us, and despite the radiance of these visions, I fear that there's a dark reason for them.
This is not over.
There's strong evidence that the Radiant Song is a warning from Azeroth herself, a cry for help. That's why we're here. If this vision truly is Azeroth's message, Magni will know what she is trying to tell us. He should be in the Chamber of the Heart. Let's go.
What's done? Let's hope Magni has some answers.
I hear no one's seen him for a few years.
He'll be there. He has to be.
It's interesting, Anduin's sword. So, the sword itself in this little open vacant spot is supposed to house the light in it. It is the sword that Varian Rin, his father, wielded, and it's the very sword that was corrupted by the jailer to corrupt Anduin. And when Anduin was able to overcome that power, it seems the light never returned to it. And Anduin himself, well, he went missing for a few years and now he's back. It's interesting to see him again, but it's even more interesting that that sword doesn't have any light left in it.
Magni, we've been trying to
If this is about the visions, I'm nae interested. Leave me alone.
Azeroth needs its speaker, and so do we.
So this is the Chamber of the Heart of Azeroth, and as to its function and purpose, we're not entirely sure. But we know one thing, Magni is not looking so good. He looks a little bit disheveled.
Look, I'm not dead yet.
I know why you're here. It's the visions, Azeroth's voice, heard all across the lands. You thought I would know what she's trying to tell us? Well, you thought wrong.
Keep fighting, champion.
I haven't spoken with Azeroth for years. At first, I just didn't feel the need. Then I had started to resent her for leaving me like this. And now I'm not sure if I can. But I know the stakes. The Radiant Song of her foretells something dire. And we need to know what. First, we need to prepare the Heart Chamber. Can you start up the consoles nearby?
When the world is healed, may some healing be spent on me.
So Magni is very depressed right now.
Speaker of Azeroth. She hasn't been speaking to me. After all I gave, she left me like this, unable to feel the warmth of my kin's embrace. So, let's be clear. I'm doing this for all
Actually,
of you,
Anduin was a priest. It's only more recently in the Shadowlands expansion that he showed a more paladin-like tendency. So, but even so, he had a very strong connection to the light. This will be a struggle. I'm a bit rusty with the whole speaking to the soul of our world thing. But the ritual is prepared, and that's that, I suppose. I'll try to speak with her. Though I warn you, champion, it might not be, or it might be for the last time. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's begin.
Azeroth, speak to me. What are you trying to tell us? I can hear her voice. I can see it! The place she's calling us to!
Where, Magni? Where must we go?
It's called...
Magni!
He's alive, but barely.
Well, that didn't work out as planned.
Dalaran, another home.
This has never happened before. Magni is the speaker of Azeroth. Why would communing with her cause him to collapse?
A single spark can set the
Magni
world
appears
aflame.
stable for now, but he's still not responsive. We need to get him treatment quickly. I'll open a portal to Dalaran. Follow us when you can.
We all have our ghosts. Hopefully we can revive him. Meet us in Dalaran when you're able.
He tried to commune directly with Azeroth. It seems the strain was too much.
Da, what have you done to yourself this time?
There remains much to be done.
Troubling times lie ahead, but don't they always? At least we can face them together.
Remain vigilant.
I'm unsure why the Speaker of Azeroth would end up in such a state after attempting to, well, speak with Azeroth. All we can do is wait for Magni to recover.
Always happy to help.
Let's get down to business then.
So this is Moira, the daughter of Magni, and I went on about her when we were leveling in the Ironforge area. Feels like the priest paladin fell to self-doubt and pride. Very much so. Very, very much so. Father, what have you gotten yourself into this time? You can't leave us like this. Please be alright, you old coot.
If you hear anything a note,
Moira takes a deep, centering breath. We need to let Braun and my son Dagran know what happened. They're at Dalaran's visitor center. Could you go get them for me? Father needs his family right now. So Dagran, for the longest time, has just been this little baby in a carriage in Ironforge, and now we get to see who they are.
You'll likely find Dagran with his nose in a book. It's why he insisted we come to Dalaran.
Tell me more about yourself. Moira Thesurian. Thurizan. I was so bad at pronouncing that. Queen Regent of the Dark Irons. I represent my clan in the Council of Three Hammers. I also happen to be Magni's daughter. Some will say I betrayed Ironforge by marrying the emperor of their greatest enemies. However, the current circumstances speak for itself. The dwarf clans now live in peace as equals, and I can assure you that it was my efforts that made that possible. Stay a while and listen.
May your hammer now. Listen, you old coot. I know you always meant right by me. You didn't know that I chose to stay with the Dark Irons. That Dagran and I were in love. Whatever your intentions were, my husband died. Because of you. I hated you for taking him from me. My anger built a wall neither of us could ever get through. And now, we may never get the chance. But my son, my little Dagran, he needs you. I guess so do I. Loath as I am to admit it. You were never the best father. But you can still be a good granda. So please, wake up.
I've been in that situation before. Alright, let's go get the boy. Dalaran has been a city that has been around since way back in the early days of Warcraft.
Have you seen these new tomes, Uncle Bran? They must be from Drenton's library.
Loads of forgotten knowledge.
Hey there, champion. Dagran and I were just perusing the local books and whatnot. Lad couldn't be more excited for his first visit to Dalaran. What brings you here? Magni's hurt. Moira needs you both in the portal room, or the portrait room.
I hope Granddad's alright. I never got to spend much time with him.
Don't worry, lad. Magni's made of stern stuff. Pardon the pun.
Best mind your manners in the presence of a queen. Mind yourself, champion.
It's good
We
for
need
us
you.
to all be in one room together, even if the reason is so dire. My father hasn't really been a part of Dagran's life, but I mean to change that. You have my word. Thank you, Colonia.
We will survive. We always do.
Hear what Khadgar has to say.
We will defend Azeroth together. Be mindful of
It seems
your
Azeroth has grown agitated. Something must have happened when Magni tried to commune with her. Past events have now come to life once more. I believe they're Azeroth's memories. Memories they may be, these radiant echoes are all too real and can cause serious danger if left unattended. I ask that you investigate one of them and help however you can.
It is a world of wonder.
And we can do that from in here. Let's see, which one is active currently? Ah, the one in the Searing Gorge. So this is the pre-patch event. We've kind of caught up with everything just by doing the Legion raids. But we can get this quest here.
I live to serve.
I am Hydraxis, Duke of the Waterlords. You are not an elemental and you cannot understand our struggle, but perhaps we can strike a deal that will benefit us both.
Fight with honor.
I regret to inform you that a horrific threat awaits your kind within this mortal realm. An elemental fire, Lord of Fire, Ragnaros, bides his time waiting to strike and burn your Azeroth to its core. We, the elements of water, have waged war eternal with those beings of the lesser elementals. Trust that our warning is no small thing. Prove your conviction, slay Ragnaros once and for all. So this isn't a real entity, this is a memory that Azeroth is having. And what we do is we hop around these events and we fight previous memories of Azeroth together, and we bring them in check. And boy, is it loud. And once we defeat a memory, we move on to the next. Let's see. And these are sometimes just mundane memories too. Of, for example, these two trying to find an impossibly rare, perfect boar liver. And these just aren't like Azeroth's memories. These are our memories as well. People who have been here since the beginning.
Lord Ragnaros returns. Brace for
who remember the original classic World of Warcraft 2. And that is Ragnaros, the Lord of Fire. Let's see, got currency from this. I'll track it on my bag. Getting a nice crisp 27 frames per second with all these people here. And there we go. Ooh, and I got a better belt from it. Very awesome. Now we can turn in the quest for slaying Ragnaros. And this event swaps locations every hour. So, yeah.
Our fate is in your hands.
You have done what most of your kind would think impossible. You have faced Ragnaros in triumph. For so small a creature, you have displayed great resource. Someday, perhaps we might strike at the true allegiance between your kind and the Water Lords.
As you wish.
Very good. And now we head back to Dalaran and let Khadgar know what we have done.
Thank the light I found you. I must
Also,
speak with you at once.
would like to... I need to replace my necklace as well as my rings, so...
I require your aid
do
with
some
a
of
matter
those.
of the utmost importance.
Do I have enough on other characters to get more? Yes, I do. 2, 3, 1, 2.
My sincere apologies for the insistence, but we must speak immediately.
Need this. Now I just need to replace my trinkets later on. More power is always good.
Your counsel is paramount to our next move against the Legion.
Excellent work, Colonia. Keep assisting with these radiant echoes and see if you can find a common thread. They must be connected somehow.
Always happy to help.
And that's everything. That kind of brings us up to date.
I am here when you are ready.
Let's see. Oh, they have a portal to Dalaran Crater from here? Interesting. Sure, why not? If you ever wondered where Dalaran was while it was on the ground, this would be it. Didn't think that they would place me in the air, but now we know how Crusader Journey the Defied went here. It's actually kind of funny. I never knew that. But yeah, this is where Dalaran was originally before it was destroyed the first time by Archimonde. Later rebuilt and lifted into the sky. Oh, indigos. That's a rare spawn I've never seen before, actually. Cool. But yeah, it was here near South Shore. Way up north. But yeah, I think overall that's probably where we're gonna leave off today. I am absolutely exhausted, and I want to thank you all for coming today and showing your support. We'll be streaming this again tomorrow, but tomorrow we have early access to the War Within expansion, so you'll get to see even more new content that even I have no idea what it's going to be about. So I will see you all tomorrow, 5 p.m. EST. Let me see if I can't find someone to read out to really quick. My friend Keldon is playing Power Wash Simulator, a nice relaxing game. Go and give them a bird up from me, and until tomorrow 5 p.m. EST, I've been Ricky Bird, and I hope you all have enjoyed your WoW experience.